Howdy folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today I want to answer a question because I get asked this one a lot. It's as far as trowels. People say, Kirk, I'm at Home Depot or I'm at Lowe's or I'm online. What trowel do I buy? Should I buy a plastering trowel or a concrete trowel? In order to answer that, you have to know the difference between what is stucco and what is concrete. Well, stucco is Portland cement mixed with sand, aggregate. That's stucco. Concrete is Portland cement mixed with rocks. That's concrete. So you get the Portland cement, and depending on if you add sand or you add rocks, you either get stucco or concrete. Now, I'm going to show you something just because I'm messing around here. I thought, what's the best way to explain this? And I was looking at the job we're doing, and this guy's concrete. I said, man, who did this concrete? It's sloped properly. It's got large expansion joints. All the aggregate. There's that fancy pretty word I love, aggregate. Aggregate could be sand, it could be concrete, it could be rocks, any kind of rock. So the concrete was pressed in well. So the guys who did this, I'd give them an A+. They know what they're doing. Anyway, for the sake of explaining the difference between a concrete trowel and a plastering trowel, in a nutshell, a plastering trowel is 5 inches wide. Why? Because now we can play with it. It's all about in your wrist. If it's 5 inches wide, we can hold more mud, and we can push the mud under things, move it, do all kinds of things with it. A concrete trowel, as a rule, is 4 inches wide. Well, can I use a concrete trowel to plaster? Absolutely, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, this is rigid. It's very rigid. It's for pushing hard. You're pushing hard because you want to push those rocks below the surface of the concrete. I'll show you. I plan to do a little goofy thing here, so let me see if it works out. I'm going to pretend like that's a form right there. Okay, my brother Lou mixed me up some stucco to prove a point, guys. Okay, let me try something here. Not sure if this is enough. It sure enough looks like enough. But just say, for example, you're doing a lot of concrete, like football field or half a football field, or say the driveway. You're doing a big job like that. Now, this right here, I can already tell that's got a little too much stucco to prove my point. So I'm going to shave it off. And I'm going to tell you the differences, how to clean them, and get into a few things like that since I'm on the subject. Okay, say that's a form, guys. You got your form. And blam, get that off. Okay, so we need some aggregate. How about we take some gravel and we just use gravel as an aggregate. Okay. Now, as a rule, you could take your trowel and you're going to push that in. You're going to push it in, push it in, push it in. And this is how you get, like, say, exposed aggregate finish. Anything I got extra, I'm going to put right here because I'm just trying to prove a point now, guys. Okay, so concrete, you will use the rocks. And you just go back and forth, back and forth. I like a carbon trowel myself. Where's my handy dandy, beautiful carbon trowel? Okay, a carbon trowel. Now that's flexible. It's, it won't rust. Now you take the stainless steel. I'm not certain what kind of metals this is, but it's some kind of carbon alloys, and you've got magnesium, nickel, and a few other ingredients to get a stainless steel trowel. These hardly ever rust, but they're thicker. It's a thicker metal. It's good for pushing in what I'm doing right here. I could already see my rocks are still on the outside. So let's throw some bigger rocks in because We're going to prove a point here. Bigger rocks. How about some Congo rocks? Oh, these are my daughter's rocks. She was building a fish pond. So, okay. Now if you're doing concrete and you want the PSI or the strength level a lot stronger, you'll put bigger the rock. Say for 3,000 PSI strength, you use a certain type of rock. If you want 3,500 PSI strength, you add bigger rock, bigger aggregates. So I'm going to use my pretty trowel because it's easier for me. This stainless steel doesn't flex as much. This is a plastering trowel. It flexes a lot more. While I'm on the subject, guys, here's the difference. And people call me, they say, Kirk, I bought one of those plastering trowels. It doesn't work too good. I don't know if the camera will show this. This is a perfect radius. That's not a plastering trowel, guys. It's for swimming pools, but it's not a plastering trowel. It's for concrete, but it's not a plastering trowel. Now this is a plastering trowel. If I had my choice, all of them would be like this. Now notice, the end is arced. The end is arced. This is a full radius. How about I do this? I put this on it. Can you see that it doesn't have the full radius? Just the ends are arced. So it's straight here. This is the toe, this is the heel, this is the shank. Okay, so it's straight here, it's straight here. Now this one is for, again, either swimming pools or concrete, and it's stainless steel. It's a Curry trowel. You can buy these at Bond Tools. And while we're on the subject, I know I'm across a lot of subjects right now. It might get complicated. Anyway, we buy trowels, personally, the best. I buy them because I have them. Some of them are 30 years old. That's how long they last. Hell, I got one close to Lou's age. 200 years old. But for you guys, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any of those, they do have a lot of good trowels now. They have Marshalltowns and Currys and a lot of very good trowels. So for you weekend or do it yourself guys, you can buy a trowel. Well, how many times are you going to use it? Once, twice, 3 times? We buy a trowel, we use it a long time. We use it for years and years. So I'll go either to Bond Tools or I'll go even on Amazon. It's actually easier, and just purchase my tools. And I know which ones I want because I want them to last. And I always like a wood handle, guys. A wood handle, you get a good grip on it. Say like this cool wood handle here. The rubber handles, like that guy right there, that's a Marshalltown. That's a good trowel. A wood handle, that's the shit, guys. That's what you want. A good wood handle. Give you a strong grip. Nobody will ever beat you arm wrestling if you get a good wood handle and you use it for a while. Anyway, so I've got this mud here. And now, guys, what I'm doing, I'm just going back and forth, and I'm pushing these rocks in, and it might even be hitting some of the stuff that's in it. So when you're doing concrete, you want the 4-inch. The 4-inch gives you more strength, but it's not a plastering trowel. That's the difference, okay, guys? So now, this is what the majority of people don't understand about the difference of a plastering trowel versus a concrete trowel. Can you use either one? Sure you can. I do. If nothing else, I'll make a trowel. So, you see that, guys? Now, imagine this little bitty piece right here. I got some rocks right here. They're hitting something, so I'm gonna push them in. So, now you see how, for example, this is just a little bitty template. A little bitty template. But if I'm doing something like this, or a half a football field, or something huge, what you guys are going to be doing is you're going to be putting all your weight. You'll see those guys. They'll come out, and they'll have concrete knee pads on. And in order to get those big rocks, and you can bet the rocks that are in here are humongous, bigger than any of the rocks I'm using. So they're putting both hands, and they're going this way. And what they're doing is they're pushing the rocks They're pushing the aggregate down into so you can get a pretty surface. And so there's, in a nutshell, guys, there's the big difference. If you guys are newbies or apprentices or you're homeowners, you're only going to use it once or twice. A 13 by 5 inch is your best trowel because it's 5 inches wide, which means you can go up, you can move it. Your hand, your wrist dictates where the plaster goes, not the trowel. The trowel is just your weapon of choice, man. This one I can use because I got a lot of experience. This 5 inch is much better because now you can put it where you want. And after a few years of this, you can go to a bar and nobody can beat you arm wrestling. I'll show you another thing too, guys. As far as a trowel, if it's got to be bent the right way too. Say, I did a video about 8-9 years ago, and I was showing, okay, see right here, this is the shank. This is a long shank. This is what I use for interior plastering because it's got a long shank. A short shank would be about this much here, but the longer the shank right here, that's just cast aluminum. The longer the shank, the better the blade will be. It'll be more rigid, so it won't banana out. And when I say banana out, I mean it. Like, say, for example, if you look down a trowel and it's bowed, say it's bowed this way, and you're trying to plaster, it'll never happen. And that, I'm going to put a link to a video that I did 7-8 years ago, and my son came out, my youngest, not Jay on the camera, and he threw the trowel and he says, that trowel is useless, Dad, it won't work, or the material sucks. And I said, boy, it ain't the trowel. It's what happens is the rivets. You got rivets in here. The rivets go through this cast iron or cast metal, cast aluminum. Okay, it goes through the metal. Now, if it gets jacked up, say like, I've been on jobs and we had one where it was 5 stories, and I heard a trowel. You hear that sound? I thought, oh crap, there goes my good trowel. And it just hit scaffold after scaffold, and it landed all the way at the bottom. And I thought, well, my good trowel is beat up. They're not really beat up. They just go into the boneyard in the truck, which I'll show you in a minute. And we'll use it for something else, say for like scraping concrete, scraping this. So we don't ever throw them away unless they're really gone. I was going to show you in the truck because at the end I want to show you how to clean them too. So I remember it was about a month ago, we dropped this guy right here. And I thought, man, I know that sound because listen. It's just, and then listen to this sound. There's a big difference. Anyhow, this trowel here is my favorite, and it's kind of sensitive, so when it got dropped I had to pick it up and baby it and bring it back to life. So that being said, I'll show you another couple things, guys. If you want to clean a trowel, I'll show you something. Okay, let me go back to the boneyard and the truck here and show you the old trowels that didn't make the grade, or they did make the grade and they've seen better days. See, we got a lot of trowels here. I mean, I have so many, I had to put some in my garage. Once they get so beat up, guys, we just use them for scraping stuff or things like that. So they never actually get thrown away unless they're really beat up. And how do you clean a trowel, guys? Here's what I'll do. I'll have a margin trowel in my back pocket throughout the day. What I'm cleaning is the shank. I'm cleaning the shank here, so I'll have a margin trowel, and I'll just keep going like this, keeping that shank clean, and then I'll clean the blade, just like that. And I'll do that about 25 times a day. That keeps the trowel clean, keeps the shank clean. So the mud, if it builds up in here, it'll bend it, it'll bow it. This sandpaper, I swear this is about 25, 30 years old. It's been in my garage because I used to, like a fool, take sandpaper, these emeries, and clean them. Here's a fast way to do it, guys. Find yourself some sand. Now put the sand on it. Put it on something flat, guys. Spray a little bit of water on it. And let let your feet do the work, because now, I mean, I'm only 180 pounds, but I'll just go like this. Now if I'm putting 180 pounds on here with just my feet, that's saving my arms a lot of work, because my weight alone will clean it. If you do this at lunchtime, you do it after work, you'll keep that trowel where you could use it for about 40-50 years, and then pass it on to your kids, or pass it on to some other young bucks that want to learn the trade. Anyhow, the trowels are important. 5-inch width, guys, for plastering. 4-inch width for concrete. Just remember that rule. You can't go wrong. And if you do have a 4-inch, use it. You could use your shoe, guys. It doesn't matter. Use what you got. But for us, we buy quality tools, and you guys, Home Depot and Lowe's, they do have a lot of good trowels now, because I was looking at them. Anyhow, I wanted to point that out because so many people say, Kurt, what the heck is the difference between a concrete trowel and a plastering trowel? A plastering trowel, we have full control, full skill. We direct the plaster where we want it. A concrete trowel, you got little control, but you can learn to do it. Anyhow, guys, I just wanted to point that out because it was asked of me. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Hi folks, Jason here, and I'm here to tell you something you probably already know, that like most content creators on YouTube, my dad and I are members of the Amazon Affiliates program. What does that mean? That means that we can show and link you to some of the most commonly used tools in the plastering trade on Amazon, like our hawks and trowels, scoops, floats, and some of the other things, our battery-operated tools for breakout and cutting, etc. Now, if you buy those tools from those links, we earn a small percentage of that. That allows us to keep making these videos and keep putting out quality content for you folks to enjoy.
Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.